How the CIA recruited Nazi scientists after WWII. What if I told you that after World War II, the United States, the same country that fought the Nazis, secretly recruited hundreds of Nazi scientists, brought them to America, and gave them top government jobs? Some of these men were accused war criminals, some had worked directly under Adolf Hitler, and many had helped build Hitler's weapons of war. But to the CIA and US military, they were nitrogen monoxide longer enemies, they were assets. Hello my friends, welcome to Secret Agents Exposed. Today, we dive into a story so wild, so shocking, so interesting you won't believe it's true. This is the secret history of Operation Paperclip, the CIA-backed program that helped launch the US into the space race and the Cold War. The war is over, but the race begins. In 1945, Nazi Germany surrendered. World War II was over, but a new kind of war had already begun. Not with bullets, but with brains. The United States and the Soviet Union were racing to dominate the future of warfare, science, and space. Both sides knew whoever controlled technology would control the future, and Germany had some of the most advanced military scientists in the world: rocketry, jet propulsion, chemical weapons, radar, even early experiments with biological warfare and mind control. The US couldn't risk letting these experts fall into Soviet hands, so instead of prosecuting them, America decided to recruit them. Birth of Operation Paperclip. The operation was called Paperclip because of the paper clips attached to the files of selected Nazi scientists, marking them for special handling. Officially launched by the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency, JOA, and backed by the CIA and US Army, Paperclip had one goal: exploit German scientific and technical knowledge for US benefit. But there was a problem. Many of these scientists were members of the Nazi Party. Some had even worked in concentration camps. Their hands were far from clean to bring them into the US without public outrage. The government did something chilling. They scrubbed their records, whitewashed war crimes, forged new identities, and quietly flew them across the Atlantic. Who were these scientists? The most famous name on the list? Werner von Braun, a brilliant rocket scientist who led the development of Hitler's V-2 rocket, the world's first long-range ballistic missile. The V-2 was used to bomb London, killing thousands. Von Braun had been an SS officer. His rockets were built by slave labor in concentration camps like Dora Mittelbau, where tens of thousands died. But in America, he became the father of the US space program. He built rockets for the US Army and later designed the Saturn V, which sent men to the moon. Other recruits included Hubertus Strughold, who conducted deadly altitude experiments on prisoners. Later dubbed the father of space medicine, Arthur Rudolph, who oversaw forced labor at the V-2 factories and became a key NASA engineer. These were not minor figures. They were deeply involved in the Nazi war machine, now quietly working for America. Ethics vs. strategy. Many inside the US government were deeply uncomfortable with Paperclip. Some in the State Department opposed it outright, calling it a betrayal of justice. After all, the Nuremberg trials had just convicted Nazi leaders of war crimes. Now, America was hiring some of the same people. But to the CIA and military, this was a necessary evil. The Soviets were already recruiting German scientists. If the US didn't act fast, the USSR would gain a massive technological advantage. So ethics were sidelined, and the public kept in the dark. Most Americans had nitrogen monoxide idea their government was importing Nazis under secret programs. Paperclip's impact. Operation Paperclip transformed American science and warfare. These Nazi scientists helped develop intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, jet aircraft technology, nuclear weapons delivery systems, and the early infrastructure of NASA. By the 1960s, Werner von Braun was a national hero, appearing in newspapers, giving speeches, even featured in Disney educational films. He stood next to presidents. Few knew of his SS background or his role in building rockets. With slave labor, Paperclip also fed into the CIA's mind control experiments, like MKUltra, and biochemical research programs. Without these scientists, the US might have lost the space race or fallen behind in the Cold War. But the cost was moral. The truth comes out. For decades, Paperclip remained a secret. But by the 1970s, investigative journalists and historians began exposing the truth. Survivors of Nazi camps told their stories. Files were declassified, and the public learned what their government had done. Some former Nazis were quietly forced to leave the US. Others, like von Braun, died national heroes, their past largely forgotten. To this day, there's debate about whether Paperclip was a strategic necessity or a moral failure. Legacy of Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip helped build the foundations of modern American science, defense, and space exploration, but it also raises a disturbing question in the name of national security. How far should a country go? Is it worth ignoring war crimes for technological advantage? The legacy of Paperclip is a complicated one, a story of ambition, secrecy, and the blurry lines between right and necessary, and it reminds us even in the land of freedom, the truth can be hidden under a paperclip. Thanks for watching Spy Stories on Secret Agents Exposed. If you found this story fascinating, subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden world of intelligence, deception, and global power games. See you in the next video with unique story.